shortened version of the tour, because I know you've got to leave here by 3:10 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we're at the ore wagon, and what we're going to do is we'll take a look around here quickly, and then head up to the bunkhouse. Then we'll grab a few hard hats and turn the generator on and get straight down in the mine, where it's lovely and cool and yeah.
Oh, got a swallow.
And talk a little bit about small-scale mica mining in this area in the early 1900s. So the old homestead that you just drove by is called the Lally Homestead, and it was the home of the Lally family. First generation of Lallies came here to this area in the 1870s or so, and settled close to that site. And then one of their sons, James Lally, and his family is who lived on that land in that house, and had cattle and did actually pretty well for themselves. Considering that we're living on the Canadian Shield here, farming was a way of life for most settlers who came to the area, but it was a very, very challenging way of life. Like, extremely challenging. It wasn't easy, and not only is there a lot of bare bedrock in this area, but where there is soil, it's very, very thin and not terribly fertile. So, as time wore on and people got rather frustrated with the land, we had the shift from farming to mining, and it didn't just happen overnight. The earliest prospectors in this area were simply farmers, trappers, and kind of stumbling upon loads of ore on farm properties and just kind of out in the bush. So in the 1860s, 1870s, the big mineral that people were finding on their properties, mining by hand to sell, was apatite, which is a green mineral that is also called phosphate, and it makes for an excellent fertilizer when you mix it with sulfuric acid and lots of chemicals. So folks would go out into their fields and find loads of apatite and just dig it out by hand with pickaxes, with shovels, and turn out a few tons, as they would say, and sell it in town. They didn't use the fertilizer here because it wouldn't do a whole lot of good on this thin, rocky soil, but they could at least sell it and make a little bit of money to pay for a new wagon axle or plow tip or something like that. So eventually, folks in Eastern Ontario started to realize, hey, there's actually, a real source of wealth under our feet here, and why not take advantage of that in a little bit more of a professional way. So 1893, a mining school opened in at Queen's University in Kingston, and it still exists today. In fact, we get people from the mining school coming here to safety our mine every year. Make sure that we're able to take visitors down into it. So the mining school was set up to teach people to be prospectors, to be geologists, and to learn mining techniques as well, mineral identification. Eventually, apatite was kind of phased out. The industry went south, literally and figuratively. People were finding better sources of phosphate in Florida in the form of guano. So bird droppings, a lot easier to mine than rock, and more plentiful and cheap. Also, with the price fluctuations in the markets, the mining in Eastern Ontario was always small scale and kind of risky, because you never knew when the vein of apatite or mica was just going to peter out, or the price to ship it was just so high that it wasn't worth mining it anymore. So as apatite was sort of being phased out, mica, people started to realize that mica was really a useful mineral. this is really the big ticket item. And the two minerals tend to grow together in a contact zone where two types of bedrock meet and crystals are forming. So what was once thrown in the scrap heaps is now suddenly very profitable for people. So come on over to the ore wagon.